So, okay, good afternoon, all of you. So, I think you may hear now. So, tell me whether you can hear me or not.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. So, today's lab session is on the tutorial 7, that lab session 7, the tutorial 9. So, this will so just remind you the previous things you learned. That means you learned the encapsulation, then abstraction. So, and I think the polymorphism side also, it covered so many things. So, okay, let's start the lab session. So, so remember that first of all, I want to remind you that you have then third assessment on this Friday at 5 o'clock. So it's based on so it looks like the mid-semester paper in 2000 and previous mid-semester paper, like this kind of one. You will get this kind of one. For an example, try out this code. So the section B, this kind of one. So you will get 1.5 hour, or I will check you at the, I will inform you the correct time. This paper, I think it is 1.5 hour. Yeah, 1.5 hour. So you will get about 1.5 hour or 2 hours to complete this kind of one. So the detailed guidelines are available. Actually, you have to write the Java code for this problem, this highlighted problem. So this is the sample input and output. So here to here, the sample input, and here to here, sample output. So you can't do this one whatever the way you want. How to do this one is available in this detailed guideline. One by one, how to create a class called test, and write a method, and write a class called shirt, and override the whatever the methods, and trouser, you have to override the method. Then likewise, their detailed guidelines are available. So you will get this kind of question in the Friday at 5 o'clock. So try out this one. Then you may easily face for the assignment on Friday. Okay, the today's lab session. So just again remind you the previous things, because I told you assessment is based on the encapsulation and polymorphism and abstraction. So many things you covered up to here. Therefore, I just today I give you the revision of that one. Okay, first exercise 1. Explain the term encapsulation and advantages of it. Okay, what does it mean by encapsulation? Anyone has idea? What is the meaning of encapsulation? It's available in the lecture slide also. So encapsulation is a technique of making the field in a class private and providing access to the field via public method. So which mean actually encapsulation is a mechanism that mean it make the variable private and access the private variable via public method. That mean you actually, it is a mechanism of wrapping the data variable, wrapping the data mean variables, wrapping the variables and the code acting on the data to a single unit. So that means it is looks like a single unit. Actually, you for the outside world, you can't find how the ways happen, but it will give you the output, but you can't get how that output is produced. So that is the basic concept of the encapsulation. So simply mean encapsulation mean that it is a mechanism of wrapping data into a single unit. So actually, in the other word, we can say it is a data hiding. So actually, it is not the data hiding. Actually, you protect the data. So protect the data mean whatever the variables available. For an example, here name, age, those kind of variable. What you can do is you can wrap the data, put it as private and wrap the data that outside users can't get the cannot access directly. So you have the limitation. So via public method, you give access to the private method. So here you can control your private variables. That is why we call it as it is protecting the data. That the encapsulation. So, and what are the advantages of that? What are the advantages? So if you give this one, so I think the advantages are, yeah, why we need the encapsulation. So better control of class attributes and method. So that means you can control the class attribute. That means you directly that means you directly want export that your data, expose your data to the public. So via the public method, you give the access to the other. So that means so in this way you may use the that we can make the data read only or write only as we require, or otherwise you may control how it should be accessed, how it should be read, how it should be write. You can control that one. Those are the advantages. So and reusability, if you get the reusability, it's allow user to programmer to use the existing code again and again in the effective way. So that means the programmer can change the part of the code without affecting other part. Otherwise, it's increase the security of the data. So data is private, so others can't access. So there are public method available. To this method, you can access those private attributes. That is why called as that is the things we called as encapsulation. Anyone has problem up to here? No problem. Okay, then go to the part B. So at least tell me whether you can hear me or not. There is no answer from your side. Yeah, okay, can hear. Consider the following Java code, uh, Java file name as teststudentdetails.java. You need to apply the encapsulation mechanism to prevent unwanted data modification. Some of the instructions are mentioned in the command lines as well. Okay, so go through this code. So now you have to encapsulate this data. Currently, these two data has not been encapsulated. That means those are in the default access modifier. Default. It is not the public, private, or protected. It is default because there is no any access modifier provided. So that which means default mean within the package they can access. If any class from this package, they can access this kind of field, that mean attributes. So what you have to do is you have to encapsulate the data. After encapsulate the field accurately, you need to put this source code. So I will give you the link. So you have to complete this code and upload to the Moodle. So there will be link available. I will give you the deadline. So I think I will put the deadline at today 11:59 p.m. So before today 11:59 p.m. you have to do this one and upload it to the Moodle. Okay, I will show you how to do that one. So first of all, what you have to do is, so create a new project. So you may put the project name as test student details. Okay, go to the Java, open the NetBeans IDE. So you may close the existing classes and go to the file, new project. and Java application. And the next here you may put the name test student details. So here put my project name as test student details, and the main class also test student details, and finish. Then you will get the public class created on behalf of test student details. Okay, likewise test student details is kind of class available. Okay, now create a class called student detail. So here it is mentioned in the same file. If you need, you may go to the package and right click new Java file. You may put that one in the new Java file. Otherwise, you may put this student details part in the same file. So I will put it in the same file. Class student details. So here string name int age. Okay, now there are two fields available. What you have to do is you have to encapsulate. Encapsulate means make this one as private. Make these variables as private. And after that, what you have to do is give public method to access this attributes. That means read and write. So how to do that one? You may write public. Let's say you need to set the data. Assume that you need to set the name value, Samanno, Kamallo, whatever the one. So therefore you may use, so when you are setting the data, there is no return type available. So return type is void. You do not need to return anything, but you need an input. What is the name to be set? Samanno, Kamal. Therefore there is an input parameter and no return type. Therefore name, that means method name, here you may use it as, usually we use set name. If you need to put the name here, we put the set and capital N M A N name. So after that you have to provide the name to be set, that is string type variable, string name. Okay, now whatever the variable passed through this parameter, what you have to do is you must set it to the this variable available. So you may use this dot name. Here this dot name mean here this one. This mean class variable. Equal name. Here without this keyword, if you put name, that mean it is local variable here. That mean parameter variable or local variable. This keyword mean class variable. So whatever the local variable, put it to the class variable. Okay. Now this one we called as setter for the name. So likewise, you may put the, now this is setter mean write to the name variable. Likewise, you assume that you need to read this, whatever the value in the name variable, then you have to get, read mean get. So public, assume that void. So we use that as get name. Get name. So here you do not need to pass any parameter. Here you do not need to pass any parameter, just get the data, get the name. So when you are getting the name, you have to return this name. That means you have to output this name. So when you are returning, what is the data type? Is string. Data type is string, therefore you have to change the return type to the string. String get name. So what you can do is, whatever this name you may return this dot name. Anyone has problem? So likewise, set the age. So you may use public void set age. So we usually use set and the variable name. So if you need, you may use whatever the name. Let's say M1. You may use whatever the name likewise, but as a habit we put the set and the variable name. Variable name is capital. Here, set age. When you are setting the age, you have to provide the age. Age is integer type. So you have to put int age. Here you have to put this dot age is equal age. So whatever this variable. Actually this passing variable, it is not mandatory to put the same name as here. If you need, you may pass the variable as a. Then this dot age is equal a. Okay, that is also correct. But usually we put the parameter name same as the class variable name age. So likewise, now you need to get the age. Set age mean write the age variable. Now get public. So return type should be int because you have to return this integer type variable. Public int get age. So here you have to return the age. Return this dot age. So now you put the getters and setters. So this part we called as encapsulation. You encapsulate. Anyone has problem? You encapsulate these two field. When you encapsulate two field, one field, you need two method for the read and write. This is write, this is read. Again, this is write, this is read. So now two attributes, four methods, read and write. Anyone has problem? Okay, I told you in the last lab session also, you do not need to manually type this one. So there are way of automatic generating. So that means NetBeans IDE will automatically generate this code on behalf of you. It will automatically generate this code on behalf of you. How to generate? So I will remove this one, whatever you wrote. I remove this one, just only now class private variables available. So how to auto generate this getters and setters is right click somewhere else and go to the insert code. Right click somewhere else and insert code and use the getter and setter. First use the getter or setter. First I will use the getter first. Type the getter and it automatically identify two variables, name and age. You need the both of name and age. So click the all variables and generate. So this will generate getters on behalf of you. Getter for the name, getter for the age. Likewise, you need to put the setters. Getters mean that read only. Now you can read only read the data, but you can't write. So if you need to write, you need the setters. How to get the setters? Right click somewhere else and go to the insert code and go to the setter. Pick the setter and tick all this one and generate. Now this will generate setters also. Set age, set age and the get age. Here get name and the set name and the get age and the set age. Anyone has problem? Those are we called as getters and setters. Okay, not only this one, assume that now you need to control this age. Assume that when you are setting the age should be less than 120 and greater than 0. And that means 300, 400, such kind of ages are not allowed. Then what you can do before setting the age, now this is the right part. Before setting the age, you may use if age is greater than or equal 0 and then age less than or equal, let's say 120 is the maximum age, then only set the age. Understood? Then only set the age, else display an error message. Else you may put S out invalid age. Likewise, you may control. What happens if you directly give the access without encapsulate? What happens if you directly give access to the age? User may put whatever the age to this variable. 300 or 400 or minus values also you may put. That means, so this will what is the advantage? So you can control. That means, so you can control human mistakes by using encapsulation. දැන් පේනවා නේද කවුරු හරි වැරදිලා මේකට ඍණ පහ වගේ දැම්මොත් මේ වැලිඩ් ඒවා නෙමෙයිනේ. කියන්නේ human errors වගේ ඒවා control කරන්න පුළුවන් encapsulation වලින්. So that is another advantage. You may control the human errors. Assume that the student detail has a grade. Assume that so he has a grade private string grade mean A plus or B plus or whatever the subject. Assume that for a particular subject he or she get the grade can be A plus, B plus, A minus, B, D, I. Those are the grades. Okay, now you put it as private. What happens if you put it as public? If you put public, users may set whatever the grade. That means not only the A plus, B plus, users can put the K plus, I plus, likewise. So K plus, P plus, Z plus, likewise, those are not valid grades. Grades are only A, B, C, D. Those are the valid grades available. A plus, B plus. And the K and P, L, those are not valid grades. So that means when you are putting the encapsulation, so I will generate the getters and setters for the grade. So right click, insert code. Let's say getter, generate the getter for the grade. You tick this one for the grade, generate. So here, get grade. Likewise, set grade. Insert code, setter. Take this one, set grade. Okay, now this is setting the grade. So remember that when you are setting the grade, you may check whether is it a valid grade or not. Assume that not only the grade, assume that when you are setting the grade, user will not set a string value. User will send the marks. That means let's say int marks. So here actually previously it is mentioned as string grade. So whatever the grade passed by the user will be set to the grade. Assume that user will not set the grade, that means A plus or B plus. User will set the marks, that means 75, that 35 or 90 or out of 100 marks. That means it is int marks. Okay, according to the marks, you have to set the grade. According to the marks. So how to set the grade? Now you have to check if marks greater than or equal, so greater than or equal 85. 85, greater than or equal 85, and then marks less than or equal 100. So it should be in this range. So if it is in this range, you may set the grade as this dot grade is equal A plus. So that is the A plus grade. And the else mean now less than 85. Else mean less than 85. If it is less than 85 and greater than 75. So marks greater than or equal 75. If it is greater than or 75, then grade is equal A. So likewise, you may set again, else if marks greater than or equal 70. Actually, I can't remember what are the actual grade. I think 70, that means 70 to 75, 70 to 70 to 74. This dot grade, I think it is A minus equal A minus. So likewise, you may control that value. That means user will enter the marks. According to the mark, you set the grade. Likewise, you may put that other part. Here only the A plus A minus value. Likewise, you may use the B plus range of all the things using if else ladder. Okay, now assume that now when you access in the grade, what is the grade of the student? So what is the grade? Assume that when you access in the grade, here it is directly pass the grade. Assume that now you do not need to directly pass this grade. So what you have to do is, you may give you the user whether that student is pass or fail. Pass or fail mean, assume that if user get at least C minus, he is pass. C minus and above, he is pass. That mean D and I values, student is fail. So assume then you may not the grade, you may use that one, get grade to get let's say get, sorry, let's say boolean is pass, whether student pass or not. So what you can do is, here you may check whether if this dot grade equal I mean fail, or this dot grade equal let's say D, and the D also fail, then you may return is pass. Is pass mean no. Now if it is I or D, that mean fail. That mean return false. Else return true. Else mean other grade. Other grade means C minus C, whatever the other grade, you return true. That means user cannot access the grade. That means user can't access whether A plus or B plus, whatever the value. User can get only the pass or fail. That means you protect this data. So some advantages. So not only just directly setting and getting, you may control how users can access this one. Directly access දෙනවා කියන්නේ හරියටම මේකේ තියෙන මොකක්ද කියලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට අවශ්‍ය විදිහට control කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මේකේ කිසිම විදිහට grade එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ මොකක්ද කියලා. Pass the failed කියලා කරා යවන්න. So this one give you either pass or fails. User can't access what is the grade. Assume that is pass, that means true, but you can't get whether C or C plus or A plus or whatever the grade. It is hidden. Do you understand that part? That means you may control by using encapsulation. Assume that if you need to pass, assume that you need to get the grade, then you may use return the grade directly. So likewise, those are the advantages of encapsulation. Anyone has problem? Yes or no? No problem. Tell me at least whether you can hear me or not. Okay. So this is the exercise 1. So shall we go to the exercise 2? Create a Java source file name testshapes.java, and this is the, so remember that you have to upload. I will put the upload link. So you have to upload this one to the Moodle. So here you do not need to control likewise. You may directly give the access using getters and setter. Here you do not need to, here I give you the additional part to control. That means if you want, you may control likewise. So question doesn't ask to control anything. You may directly return whatever the these values, and you may directly set via the public method. Okay. So do that in proper way. Here I give you the advanced things. That mean what are the advantages using the encapsulation. Okay, create a Java source file name testshapes.java, and this file is need to upload at the end of the exercise. Okay. So let's create another project called test shapes. So I will go to the file, new project, and next create a class called test shapes. Create a class called test shapes and finish. Okay, now add the class name shapes to the source file and implement a method name as getArea. So now you have to add the class called shapes. So here you have to add the class. Here you may use start the card in the same file, or otherwise you may right click and go to a new Java class. So here I use the same one, class shape. Shape mean, I think you know the meaning of a shape. Shape mean whatever, that mean sphere or rectangle or triangle, or likewise those are the shapes. SHAPES. So remember that, but here it is mentioned as at the class called shapes. But remember that we usually put the class name as singular, not the plural. Okay. So here it is put it as a shapes. Therefore, I put it as shapes. But usually we put the single words, singular words, not the plural words. That is not mandatory, but usually we write it in the class names in the singular words. Shapes to this source file and implement a method as getArea to it. So you have to declare a variable, let's say void getArea. There is a method, implement a method called getArea. So method should take one double type parameter as radius and return value 0.0. You need the double type parameter as radius. So double, and this should return value 0.0. 0.0 mean pointing. That means it can be either float or double. That means return value can be float or double. So therefore you have to put the return value as also double. And you have to return 0.0. So currently shapes area is 0 is the area. Again, you have to add another class called sphere and circle, which are subclasses of shape superclass. Now another two classes, those are subclasses called sphere and circle. So create class. What is class? Sphere. Sphere Next one is circle. However, this is a subclass. Subclass means extends shapes. Extend shapes. Another one called circle. So I copy this one and paste it here. And this is circle. Another class circle that is also extend from shapes class. Okay. Then inside the sphere and circle classes, override get area method. Implement the logic. So first of all, override the get area method. How to override? Go to the sphere class. So you may use the annotation at override. At override. That is not mandatory. It is optional. At override here, you may override this method. How to override? So same method signature should be there. Therefore, I copy this one and paste it here. Okay, now overwritten in the same method this one. Okay, how to overwritten this one? Inside the sphere circle, override the get area method and implement the logic of calculating the value of sphere. Sphere, how to calculate the area? That 4 into 5r squared. So that is the logic, 4 into 5r squared. So you may calculate return 4 into 5, you can get math dot inside the math class there is a 5 static variable available. You may directly access, that is the 5 value. If you want, you may use the 3.14, that is the 5 value, and multiplied by 4 into 5 into r into r. R mean radius. Radius into radius. So this is the answer for the sphere. How to calculate the area of the sphere. So you may, if you don't sure that one, you may Google that one. Sphere. 4 into 5 into r squared. So this is the sphere. So this is the r. How to take the surface area. Area means surface area. And the circle. Circle is 5r squared. In the circle, therefore I copy this one and paste it here. That means you are overriding get area. Here get area, you override it here. So how to override? That is 5r squared. 5 into r. That means there is no 4 part. 4, you have to remove the 4. 5 into r. That is the area of the circle. Then define the method names, get a statement which returning a string as I am a shape in shapes class. So that you have to write the get statement in the shapes class. The shapes class what is get a statement. Get a statement. Okay, how to get the statement? String as I am a shape. You have to put return I am a shape. Now you have to create a class name test shapes. So I think the test shapes class already created, test shape class already created with the main method. So main method also available, and execute the following statement inside. So now you have to, so I can't copy and paste, no? Okay, you have to execute this statement. First, sphere, and the object name is sphere, the class name is sphere, object name also sphere, and the new sphere. So here, you create a new object from the sphere, that means superclass. And the subclass circle, circle is equal new circle. And the shapes, shape is equal new sphere. Okay, what is the shapes? Shape is a superclass, sphere is a subclass. So that is also okay, because superclass object references can hold any subclass objects. Therefore, that is also possible. Shapes, shape equal new sphere. New sphere. Then another one, shapes, original shapes, that is from the construct of the same class, that means superclass. Shapes, original shapes, that is the object name is original shapes, that is equal new shapes. That is also possible, because superclass, you created the superclass object. Now system.out.println, area of shape, sorry, area of sphere is sphere.getArea. Area of sphere is sphere.getArea. Sphere.getArea. Area you have to pass 2.1. Next one for the circle. So I copy and paste it here. Area of circle is circle.getArea. Circle.getArea. And again paste third line. Println circle.get a statement. Here. Circle.get a statement. Again, area of relevant shape is shape.getArea. Shape.getArea 2.1. And the area of original shape is area of original shape is original shapes dot get area. Original shapes dot get area 2.1. Okay, now what you have to do is now check what will be the output. First of all, what happened here? The sphere. Sphere means it is a subclass because shape is a superclass. Sphere is a subclass from the subclass object, from the subclass constructor you created. Circle also a subclass, that subclass object from the subclass constructor you created the subclass. Shapes, that is a superclass. On the superclass object reference, hold subclass. Sphere is a subclass. Superclass object reference hold a subclass object. And superclass object reference hold a superclass object. That is it mentioned as original shapes. Okay, then system.outer println. So when you are running this one, here area of sphere is sphere.getArea. So sphere. So when you are calling the sphere, what is the sphere? This is the sphere. So getArea mean it called the overwritten method. This is the overwritten method. So this it will call the overwritten method. It give you the what is the answer. And next one, area of a circle is circle.getArea. Circle also a subclass. So when you go to circle, here it is called the overwritten method. Area of a circle is 13 point, whatever this one will be the answer. And system.out.println circle.get a statement. Circle is a subclass object. Okay, now circle. Do we have a get a statement? No, there is no get a statement. That get a statement method is not available as its own method, but it is extend from the shapes. Shape as a get a statement, so this one will be automatically inherit. Therefore, what happened? So that get a statement, that method get a statement method here it is does not overwritten. Here it has not been overwritten. Therefore, what happened? It called the superclass I am a shape. That is why it give you as the I am a shape. And the area of a relevant shape is, the relevant shape mean here what happens? Shape. Area of a relevant shape. So shape is a sphere. Actually, it is a superclass object reference, but hold the sphere. Sphere means subclass object hold. Then what happened? The superclass it returned 0.0. Subclass it returned calculated one. Then what happened? Shape dot get area, when you are calling the get area, that get area has been overwritten. Therefore, it called the overwritten method. That is why calculated one will be appear here. Understood? Then area of original shape is, original shape mean shape, original shapes, new shape. Now from the shape class you created. Get area. Get area mean now call this method, it returns 0.0. So that is why output is 0.0. So this is the basic things in the inheritance. Anyone has problem? No questions? Shall we move to the next part? Tell me at least whether you can hear me or not. Okay. So exercise 3. Okay, now, so this is a little bit important part. Determine the result of the following codes snippet and explain the reason for the producing that result. Okay, it's better I explain this one in the whiteboard. Okay, tell me whether you can see my whiteboard or not. Do you see my whiteboard? Okay. Now what you have to do is there is class A, class B, and class C. You have to implement class A, class B, and class C. So class A, it has a method void M1 void M1 from A class. That means self class, you create pass and object. And after that, system.out.println, it pass A. After that, class B extend A. Class B extend A, void M1, void M1, BB. B mean from this class. Variable is B. Here, what is the output? Here, open, close, and here this is the closing bracket of this class. Here, open in void B. System.out.println. You have to print B. After that, this is the close of that class. And class C, class C extend B, void M1. Here it is pass C. And here system.out.println C. After that, class D, class D has the public static void main string args. Here you pass from A C1 is equal new C. New C. After that, C2 equal new C. C2 equal new C. After that, C1 dot M1 C2. C1 dot M1 pass C2. After that, closing that bracket. Okay, now looking at this one, here you may find that's a class A, B, and C. A, B, C, and D is the main class, testing class. D is the testing class, and there's A, B, C. A, B extend A. B extend A mean the class B is a child class of A, and class C is a child class of B. Okay, now here, what is this method? M1. What is this method? M1. What is this method? M1. Okay, now looking at this method, M1, can you tell me whether this M1 is overwritten in other classes or not? The M1 method is overwritten in class B and it is overwritten in class C. Is it correct or not? Tell me whether it is overwritten or not. Some say overwritten, someone say no. Okay. Most of students say no. What is the reason why it is not overwritten? Why it is not overwritten? Different parameters. Yes, I told you if it is override, that means if you need to override this M1 in here, the method signature should be same. What is the method signature here? What is the data type of first method? What is the data type? What is the pass data type? What is the pass parameter? The method signature is method name plus order of parameter. First it pass A type. That means it can be integer, double or whatever. However, this is A type. A means class A. So M1, this is A. Here M1 pass B. Here M1 pass C. Now tell me these three methods, 1, 2, 3, are same method or different methods? Are same methods or different methods? A, B, C. That means 1, 2, 3 are same method or a different method? No idea. Yeah, they are different methods because method signatures are different. Method signatures are different. That means those are not overwritten. Here, this which means not overwritten. Here, not overwritten. Do you understand that part? Okay, now looking at this one, when you are calling this one, what will be the output? You are calling C1.M1. You are calling the C1 and M1. What will be the output? What will be the output? C1.M1 pass the C2. You say output is A. Okay, let's see how it's happened. Now assume that in the main method, if you create an object from the A, if you create an object from the A class, so assume that now you create an object from the A class, from the object from the A. Then what happened? This will have a method called M1. This will have a method called M1 and the pass parameter is A. This will have a method called M1. And if you create the object from the B class, then what happened? Assume that this is overwritten. Assume that this is not B. Assume that this is A and pass it is as B. Then what happened? Now is it overwritten or not? Now is it overwritten or not? In the B, now is it overwritten or not? Yes, now it is overwritten because we don't need that variable name. We can ignore just only the data type. Here it is A, here also A, M1A, which means overwritten. What happened overwritten? Then B class has M1A. Here what happened? Here this will print. Here this will output A. Here this will output B. Overwritten. Because it's overwritten, it is output B. Now what happened? Actually, this is not overwritten now. Now this is B mean this is a different method. Different method mean this is a own method of class B. මෙයා මේ class B එකේ තියෙන යාගේ method එක. It is not related to the previous one. මෙයා මෙයාත් එක්ක කිසිම සම්බන්ධයක් නැහැ. So M1 means there is no any relation to the superclass M1. Here M1 there is no relation to the superclass M1. They are separate. That means individual method. Therefore, what happened when you created the class B? This method automatically inherit because this is a inherited one. So M1 will be automatic inherit. So B class has two methods. That means M1A and M1B. It has two methods. Do you agree with me? Anyone has problem? Because this is not the overwritten part because method signatures are different. Then if you create an object from the class C, what happens? Assume that this is the class C. So C extend from B. C extend from B mean what happened? All these two classes inherit to the here. That means M1A, M1B as well as M1C. This is a different method. This M1 does not override this one or this one. The method M1 මේකවත් override කරන්නේ. Here M1 doesn't override either one because here A, B, here C. Therefore, this is his own method. C is own method. Now M1C. Okay. Now this is M1. This is M1. His own method. Now here M1, as in that this M1 is, I put in a different color. M1A. That means blue color is a superclass method. Red color is the own method. M1B. This is the own method. This M1A is inherited from the superclass. Blue color one is inherited. So this one has been inherited again. Now these two. That means M1A and M1B are inherited and M1C is the own method. M1C is the own method. Okay, now assume that you created A C1 is equal new C. Okay, now you created the C1.
Now you created the C1. Now you created a C1. Assume that this is your C1. You created a C1. It is from the new C. New C means C's constructor, C1. And C2 is new C. Again C2, that is also from this one. Assume that another one. So I will create here. Again this one from the C. Here also M1 C, M1A, M1B. Assume that this is C2. This is C2, this is C1. C1 object reference is from the superclass C1. This one is held by a superclass object reference. That means this object is held by superclass object reference. Superclass object reference means A. What happens if it is superclass object reference? If it is superclass, that means A. Only handled by A. So A has only this method. Then what happens? Automatically these accessible, these methods are available. These are not accessible because C1 is held by A. C1 is held by A class, that means A class only has the M1A. M1A, therefore M1B and M1C are from the child classes. Those are not accessible. Those are available but not accessible. That means you can't get C1 dot, you cannot call this one and this one. You can only call this one. You can only call this method. C2 is from the same class. That means here it can access this one, and this one, whatever the way you like. Do you understand? You can access whatever the method. From the C2, you can access either this one, or this one. That means if you call here, I will put it in another color. If you call C2, if you call C2 dot M1, if you pass a type object, assume that A, different name, assume that X, assume that this X is a type object, then this will call this method. If X is a B type object, then it will call the second method. If X is a C type object, then call the third method. Likewise, according to the object, it will decide which method to call. When the C2, M1, assume that X is a type object, then call the first method. If X is a B type object, then call the second method. If X is a C type object, then it call the third method. You may call whatever the method. But C1, you can always call M1 with only the X. X should be a superclass method. That means superclass object. You cannot invoke this one. You can't invoke this one. Do you understand that part? Okay. Now here you call the C1. C1.M1. So here there is no dot. C1.M1. C1.M1 and pass the C2. And here you pass C2. Here you pass C2. C2 is which kind of object? C2 is a which kind of object? C2 is a which kind of object? C. C2 is here. It is a object reference is C. C2 is a C kind of object. That means you are trying to access this method. You are trying to access this method because it is C type object. C2 is a C type object. That means you are trying to access the third method. Is it possible to access? Is it possible? Yes or no? Is it possible to access? No, that is not possible to access because this is not accessible because C1 is held by a C1 is held in by a superclass object reference. Therefore, these two methods are not accessible. But you are trying to call C2. You can only possible call is this one. You can only possible call is this method. When the main method විතරයි call කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. To call this one, which kind of object you have to pass? To call this one, which kind of object you have to pass? A type object. A type mean parent type object. A type mean parent type object. You have to pass parent type object. But I told you parent can hold any subclass object. Parents can hold any subclass object. That means you can call this one not only the A by using the B or C also, because B and C also subclasses. A can hold that kind of one because A type of object can hold. That means if you use A is equal new B, new C. Likewise, you may use the B and C also. A can hold. Therefore, you can pass not only the A, you can pass the B and C object to the here and call this method. Do you understand that part? Because it can hold that one. So what happened when you are calling this one? It is try to pass C2. However, C2 is not accessible. Therefore, it is automatically jump to this method is accessible. Do you understand? So this method will be automatically called. Therefore, output is A. So what happened? Assume that for whatever the reason this is accessible. Then what happened? Assume that whatever the reason this method is accessible. Accessible mean so that mean C is a C type object, not the A, C type object. Then what happened? Then instead of calling this one, it will call this method. Do you understand that part? So this part is little bit confusing. Therefore, take that one properly. If this one is accessible, actually you are passing the C type object. If it is accessible, then this will call. Make a වෙලාවට access කරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා නම් මේක තමයි call වෙන්නේ. මේක call වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කරුමෙට මේක access කරගන්න බෑනේ මේක. මෙයාට access කරගන්න බෑ මොකද parent object එක call කරන් ඉන්නේ. එහෙන් බැරි වුණ ගමන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙයා call කරන් try කරනවා. ඔය යාට call කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද යාට BC on එකක් දාලා call කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙනම් කලියම මෙයාට පයින්නවා. So it automatically jump to this one. If it is accessible, then not this one will be called. So I think there was a connection lost my side. Yes. Okay, do you hear me? Okay. So there was a connection lost at this one. So what I want to tell you is M1, this part is now that you are passing the C2. C2 mean it is a C type object. Actually, you are trying to call this one. Actually, you are trying to call this one, but this is not accessible because A is C1 is held by the parent object. This is not accessible. Therefore, what happened? It try to call this one. So this is also can be called because it passed the A mean you can pass A, B, C, any child object. Therefore, this one called A. Therefore, output is A. Assume that this is accessible, then this will give you the output as C. If it is accessible. Unfortunately, this is not accessible. Therefore, output is A. Let's try out this one. I think then you may understand that part.
Okay, tell me whether you can see my NetBeans IDE. Yes or no? Okay. Then let's say this is exercise 3. I think this is tute 7, no? Tute 7, exercise 3. So I create a new project. So here I remove this part, refactor, safety delete, and refactor. Okay, now what you can do is I close the existing previous one. So you can right click the source file, source package, and go to new Java class. Okay, now you may create, so this is the main class. Main class has been created by the D, class D, main class created by the D. Therefore, I put the class name as D, D and finish. Okay, now here you may create the class A, B and C. Class A, class A void M1, here class AA. So sometimes you may think how you pass this kind of one. So I mean, you always familiar with you are passing the integer type parameter. That means string type parameter. String integer means those are primitive data types. Not only the primitive data type, if you want, you can pass the cat C. That means if you have cat type class, you may pass the cat type object. Now you have the D. If you want, you may pass the D type object. There's a class D. D and variable is T, whatever the one. So likewise here, the same class object A. That means A, after that K or something, whatever the variable name. So here I put the variable name as A. Okay, after that S out A. System.out.println, not the println here, print or println, whatever the one, just print the A. Okay, next one is class B extend A. Here void M1 BB. Here S out B. Likewise, third one, class C extend B, void M1, here pass C and S out C. And after that class D is here. Class D, here there is a public static void main string args. Here A C1 is equal new C, C2 is equal new C. After that C1 dot M1, you are passing the C1 object. So what happens when you are running this one? So no main method found. So first of all, save this one, save the files. After that run. Now it asks the D is the class, then press OK. Now output is A. So why it is the output? Because you are passing the C1.M1. C1 is the A type object reference. It is A type object reference, but created object is C. C means now this one has three M1 method. M1A, M1B, M1C. Okay, now this one has three M1 methods, and here you pass the C1. That means you are trying to access the third method. Now that means you are trying to access this method. Actually, this is not accessible because it is held by a parent class A. Therefore, this method and this method is not accessible. Only accessible is this one. Here it is asking the A type object. C1 is the subclass. C1 is the, sorry, here you have to pass the C2. So C2 is the subclass object. You are passing the subclass object. Subclass object mean you are passing the C type one. However, this A can hold the B and C also. Therefore, it automatically call this one. Okay, what happen if you put this one as C? If you put this one as C, then it will give you the output as C, because now when you are putting the C1, now C1 can access all A, B and C method. So C2 is the C type object. Therefore, it automatically call this one C. So do you understand that part? If you put A, it will give you the output as A. So do not mouth spell this kind of one. You have to get the idea how that method overloading or method overriding happen. How it automatically identify which method to be called. මේවා කටපාඩම් කරලා නම් කවදාවත් ගොඩ යන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේකේ ලොජික් එක ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕන. So remember that what will be the thing. So you have to explain how this will be happen. Anyone has problem? So is there is a and has a relationship example? So is there is a and has a relationship in this example? No, there is no any has a relationship. Only the is a relationship is there. Is so yeah, it's a private message. So don't send the message privately. So here, so I can't give you the private messages. Put the message to the public. So there is a and has a relationship in the example. So there is a relationship. Is a relationship mean that mean B. Actually B is a. Extend mean is a. B is a. Do you understand that one? B is a. Extend mean is a. Can B කියන්නේ A ජාතිය එක්කෙනෙක් කියලා කියන්නේ. B is a. B also a type object. B කියන්නේ A ජාතිය එක්කෙනෙක් ඊට අමතරව වැඩිපුර කැලලකුත් තියෙනවා. That is, this is a relationship. So what does it mean by has a relationship? Has a mean inside here you have the A. Then it is a has a relationship. For an example, assume that now this is not extend from A. This is just B. Now there is no any is or has a. Now this is just B, not extend from A. Now this is just only a own class. That means separate class. Okay, now here you put, here there is a variable, so that int x. Likewise, you can put the variables, no? You can put the attribute like int x, string y. Likewise, you may put the string y. Likewise, you may put attributes. So likewise, assume that if you put an reference of a variable, that means a. Now B is put in a type, that means B is keeping the a type object reference. Object, not the object, object. B is keeping the a type object. That means B has a. Then B to a කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. B has a, this kind of one we called a has a relationship. B has a. Then B to a කියලා එක්කෙනෙක් වෙනවම ඉන්නවා. එයාගේ ඇතුලේ a කියලා එක්කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. So this kind of one we called a has a relationship. Did you get that one? So this is we called as is a, this one we called as has a. The extend කියලා මෙහෙම આવොත් මේක is a relationship එකක්, මේක has a relationship එකක්. So this is a has. That means inside the B class you have the A object. Anyone has problem? There is a code like this. Code D in the mid-semester exam PDF provided by you. Can you explain it? So I can't remember that one also. Where is that in the mid-semester paper? So which part you mentioned that? I don't know. There was a code like code D. D mean this part. Okay. What happened here? Public class test. So here this is the main class, and class person. This is the person class. String name. It has a string. There is not a is or has a because it's a string type. And person, that means this is the constructor. Inside the constructor, it print person. And there is a string n. After that, that means another constructor overload. There is another constructor. We call this one as constructor overloading. That because two constructors are available with different parameters. Here you pass the n variable. That n variable you put to the name variable. After that it print person string. The default constructor print only the person, and the parameterized constructor prints person string. And there is a student extend person. The student extend, that means inherit everything. Inherit mean now is a relationship. Student is a person. That means name and the, sorry, only the name is available. Others are constructed. Name automatically inherits. So this is a relationship. And there is a string registration number. Student has additional one called registration number. And this is the student constructor. Inside the constructor, what happen? You pass the n and the registration name and the registration number. So you put the name is equal n, name means superclass. So this is better you put the super dot name. So if you do not put super dot name, assume that there is no local name variable available, then automatically go to the name variable. So it pass the name and registration number. Here you have to put the this keyword, this dot registration number. However, now there is no any duplicate registration numbers available. Therefore, automatically identify this is the registration number. R put to that one. After that, what happened? This will print system.out.println student string string. This will give you the student string string. So then what happened in the main class? This is the main class. Student S is equal new student. So now here you created the student class object. That means you call the student class constructor. What happened when you, where is this constructor? New student. That means, which means you call this method, not the method, constructor. Pass the variable comma-len 001. So it assign this variable. So remember that I told you each subclass constructor you have to call the superclass constructor. Okay, now this is the student class. What is the superclass? What is superclass of the student? What is the superclass of student? Person. So did you call the person constructor inside here? Inside the constructor, did you call the person constructor? That means either this one or this one. You have to call. You have to call either this one or this one inside here. Make actually call karanna ona. You have to call. Did you call this one? Yes or no? Here, did you call this one? No, there is no. Then what happened? If you do not put, then what? Java will automatically call the default constructor of the superclass. Java will automatically call the default constructor of the superclass. Here, this is the default constructor. It is available. So Java will call this one. When calling, what happened? Print person. So this will print person. After calling this one, then assign these variables and assign this variable. After that, print student string string. Then what will be the output? Person student string string. This is the output. It print the person and student string string. So there is no any has a relationship. Only the is a relationship is there. Did you get that one? So let's check that one. I think this will be the output. If you copy this one, so copy this code and put to somewhere else here. Person string student, this one. So inside here, you call the student. Now what happened? Output the person student string string. Why? Why the person also call? What is the reason for the call the person? You call only the student constructor. You call only the student constructor. Student constructor mean this one. You call only this one. So when you are calling, I told you in the first line, very first line, you can't call the person in here. You can't call person constructor here. In the very first line, you have to call that one. Very first line. That means here you have to call. Very first line, you have to call person. That is must. So what is that? PER. Sorry, not the person. When you are calling, you have to call it as super. That means you have to call the person class using super. That means super mean you are calling this one. You have to call either this one or this one. If you want, you may call this one. If you pass any string, that means if you pass, that means KK or something, then what happen? Then call this method. Then person string will be called. When you are running, person string will be called. You have to call either this one or this one. Make hari අනිවාර්යෙන් call කරන්න ඕන. You have to call. Now you call the second constructor. If you do not provide anyone, what happen? If you do not provide anyone, then you call the no argument constructor. That means default constructor. If you forget to put that one, what happen? If you do not put, then Java will automatically call this default constructor, this one. Java automatically call. Okay. To call this one, that means to call that automatically call this method this constructor should be there. What happen if you comment this one? What happen if you try to comment this one? Then this will give you an error because default constructor not available to automatic call. දැන් මෙතන ඔයා manual call කරේ නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Java automatic call කරන. automatic call කරන්නේ නැහැ ඔයා comment කරලා. ඒ line එක නැහැ. To automatic call, the constructor is not available. Then this will give you a compilation error. Then you have to manually call the other constructor. එනදී manually අනිත් constructor call කරන්නම් වෙනවා ඔයගලන්ට. Super that pass a variable to here. N means string type variable. So here you may pass whatever the string. Now you manually call the constructor. So remember that every every subclasses inside the constructor, you have to call the superclass constructor. That is must. If you do not call, Java try to call the default constructor. මතක තියාගන්න හැමතිස්සම superclass constructor ඇතුලේ subclass constructor ඇතුලේ superclass constructor call කරන්න ඕනමයි අනිවාර්යෙන්. ඕගොල්ලෝ වැරදිලා හරි call කරේ නැත්නම් Java automatic try කරනවා default constructor call කරන්න. එහෙම call කරන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් default constructor එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන superclass එකේ. තිබුණ නැත්නම් error එකක් දෙනවා. So what happen if you do not put this one? Java, there is no one available. But Java will automatically put this one. But here it is not automatically put because you put parameterized constructor. What happen if you comment this one? If you comment this one, then there is no error. Then this line will be automatically put by the Java. If you do not write any constructor by on, Java will automatically put this one without this line. May line is automatic TM. If you do not put any constructor, Java will put this kind of line. ඔගොල්ලෝ කිසිම constructor එකක් දැම්මේ නැත්නම් Java මෙහෙම එකක් දාගන්නවා automatic. Java will put this kind of one. Then only this part available. Do you understand? That means if you put a manual constructor likewise, if you put a manual constructor likewise here, so I uncomment the line, then Java doesn't put default constructor on behalf of you. So remember those things. Those are the very tricky point will be evaluated from the examination. Anyone has problem? That who is that 185007R Attanayaka Do you understand that part? Or do you have any other question? Okay. Okay, shall we go to the exercise 4? Exercise 3, so exercise 4. Yeah, last part. Predict the output of the following class. Predict the output of the following class. Okay, abstract class figure. What does it mean by an abstract class? What does it mean by an abstract class? Hmm? Anyone has idea? What does it mean by an abstract class? I think you have covered in the lecture also. Okay, abstract classes, that mean abstract classes may have abstract methods. Okay, what does it mean by abstract methods? Tell me what does it mean by abstract method? So abstract methods mean no implementation. No, that means don't have method body. That means if only the method signature is available. If you have that return type and the method signature, only the method declaration, that means method prototype. Only this one is available. We called as abstract method. Abstract method mean that mean it tell to the user this kind of method available and how to do that one is not available. That means it's available, we can do this kind of thing, and how to do is not available. That is an abstract method. Method mean what does it mean by a method? Method mean it will do a particular task. Okay, abstract method mean the class will give you, we can give, sorry, we abstract class will tell you I can do this kind of task, but I don't know how to do that. That is the mean. The abstract method එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මට පුළුවන් මේ වගේ දෙයක් කරන්න, හැබැයි කරන්නේ කොහොමද මම දන්නේ නැහැ. That is the meaning of abstract class. So if you get this one figure, abstract class figure, it has a two attributes, dim1, dim2. It is a double type, and this is the constructor. Constructor assign that value to the here, and after that abstract double. So abstract double area is a method. It return double type value. That means this will calculate the area of the figure. So this method will give you, I can calculate the area of the figure, but implementation is not there, but which means I don't know how to do that. දැන් මේකෙන් කියන්නේ මේකේ තියෙනවා area calculate කරන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් කරන හැටි කොහොමද කියලා මෙයා දන්නේ නැහැ. So what you have to do is you have to implement this kind of one in the subclasses. So what does it mean by, so those are the meaning of abstract method. So what does it mean by abstract class is, abstract class may or may not have abstract method. Don't think that always it must have abstract method. Sometimes there can be no abstract method also, only the implemented one available. So abstract class means it may have abstract method. The abstract class එකක් කියන්නේ ඒක abstract methods තියෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කියන්නේ. තියෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන්නේ සමහරක නැති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඔක්කොම implement කරපුවා තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. All the methods can be implemented one. That is also possible. Okay, try this one figure, abstract class figure. So What is the main class? What is the main class? Where is the main method? Oh, here the main method. Abstract areas. This is the main method. Abstract area. So create a project called abstract areas. So you may close the existing one. I close the existing one. Close, save all. Close and go to the new and put the name as abstract areas. And finish. Okay, now you create an abstract areas class and there's a main method available and this is the start of the class. So this is the start of the class, this is the end of the class. Okay. First of all, you have to create an abstract class called figure. Abstract class called figure. Double dim 1, double dim 2, and the constructor. Constructor is the same as the class name. Figure, and you have to pass the variable a and b. So here you pass the a and b, but usually we pass the dim 1 and dim 2. Here it is pass an a and b. Double a, double b, and pass a to the dim 1, b to the dim 1. So when you are using the dim 1, so always use this keyword. So here this keyword has not been used, but here doesn't matter because there is no any duplicate dim 1s available. So therefore better you put the this keyword. This dot dim 1 is equal a, this dot dim 2 is equal b. Okay, now there is an abstract method called double area. Okay, now I will write abstract method double area. Sorry, there is no body available. That means do not open and close the curly brace, abstract double area. So you have to use the keyword abstract. This is non-access modifier. Abstract double area. Okay. So assume that you implement this one. So that if I implementing, you can't use the abstract method. Assume that you are implementing. Implementing means just return something. Return 7.9 or something. You have return whatever the one. Okay. Okay, now this is an abstract class. Do we have any abstract methods here now? Now, do you have any abstract method? No abstract method. That means for the abstract classes, it is not mandatory to put the abstract methods. The abstract class abstract method down the rule. So there is no rule that you have to put an abstract method. So abstract class means it may or may not have abstract method. So if you are using the abstract class, we will at least put one abstract method. Abstract class karne ki. So here abstract double area. So this is, that means there is a method called area. This will return a double type, but how to return double type, how to get the area is not implemented. Okay, now this is we called as abstract class. Now next one is a rectangle extend from figure. That means rectangle is a subclass. Here rectangle constructor. Rectangle constructor, you have to pass double A, double B. Okay. Now I told you inside the subclass constructor, you have to call the superclass constructor figure. So therefore, I call the super AB. Super AB. AB mean you call this one and put that variables to the A and B. So now there is a area method you have to override. Area method. That means this area method you have to override. How to override? So you may remove the abstract part, copy this one and paste it here and implement. So rectangle mean how to calculate the area. Return height into width. Height, assume that height is dim1, width is dim2. Then return this dot dim1 into this dot dim2. Actually, it is not that this, it should be super because dim1 is available for the super class. Here it doesn't matter, you may put the this keyword also. Why this keyword? Because there is no any local dim variable available. Assume that here also variable available. Double dim1. Then what happens? Here dim1 mean this variable. Do you understand? Assume that you need to access this dim1, then you have to put the super. So currently there is no such a variable available. Therefore, you may use this keyword also. It doesn't matter. But correct one is super because those are available in super class. Super dim1 into super dim2. That is the answer. Dim1 into dim2. So here another one, print inside area of rectangle. Before returning S out. Inside area of rectangle. So here you implemented. Okay. Assume that now this method is not available. If this method is not available, if I comment this one, if method is not available, this will give you an error. Why? What is the reason is now the rectangle class, this method will be automatically inherit because it is extend from the figure. This abstract double automatically inherits. That means there will be an abstract class here. දැන් මේ rectangle එක ඇතුළත මෙහෙම abstract එකක් තියෙනවා. Inside the rectangle also it has an abstract method area. So can we put abstract method in the rectangle class? Can we put abstract method in rectangle class? No. What is the reason? Reason is rectangle class is not an abstract class. If this one also an abstract class, let's say abstract, then doesn't matter. Then you may put this unimplemented one here also. Automatically inherit here also unimplemented. Okay. Now rectangle class is not an abstract class. Rectangle class is not an abstract class. This one we called as concrete class. Okay, what does it mean by concrete class? What does it mean by concrete class? Object can be created. So if it is a concrete class, from that class you can create an object. If you can create an object, is implement all abstract method in the abstract class. It implement all abstract methods in the abstract class. Yeah, that is also correct. It implement all abstract. That means concrete class mean implement all abstract method. That means that is not only the concrete class. So assume that. So other classes also you may. That mean if it is instantiable, we call as it is a concrete class. Can class එකකින් object එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒ concrete class එකක්. It is a concrete class. For an example, so this is an abstract class. From this abstract class, actually you can't create an object. From abstract class, you can't create an object. For here, for an example, assume that you try to create an object, figure K is equal new figure. Now this will give you an error. What is the error? Figure is abstract, cannot be instantiated. So why we can't create an object from the abstract class? What is the reason? Why we can't create an why we can't create an object from the abstract class? What is the reason? So reason is abstract classes, I told you, may have abstract method. Here now this one has abstract method. So that means there is a method called area. It will return a double. Okay. There is an area. This will return a double. Okay. Now if someone create this method and try to call k dot area. If someone try to call k dot area. Okay. So k dot area will return a double type one. Let's say double d is equal k dot area. Now that whatever the return value will be assigned to the d. Okay, now tell me what is the d value? What is the return value? Actually, here there is no return value. The reason is implementation is not there. What to return is not implemented. If someone try to call this one, how they should be behave? දැන් කවුරු හරි එක්කෙනෙක් මේ ඒරියා කෙනෙක් කෝල් කරොත් එimhe මේ Java එක අමාරු වැටෙනවා. ඇයි? කොහොමද රිටර්න් කරන්න කියලා නෑනේ මේක. How to implementation is not given there. So that is why you can't create object from that class. So therefore, to create an object, what you have to do is you have to implement all abstract methods in subclasses. You have to create, that means you have to implement all abstract methods in subclasses. Here, now again I uncomment. Now here you implemented. Now the rectangle class you can create object. If you rectangle r is equal rectangle, then r dot area, then doesn't matter. You can, there is a value to be written. There is how that area should be behave is implemented. Here it's not implemented. That is why you can't create object. It can be instantiated. Do you understand? Okay, now there's another one, triangle extend figure. There's another class, triangle. So why does this one give you an error? Triangle is not abstract and does not override abstract method in area figure. So here triangle class is not an abstract class. So if it is not an abstract, what you have to do? You have to override the method area in the figure. That means here inside you have to implement the area. Here still you do not, still you do not implement that one. That is why it will give you. Until you implement the area, this will give you an error. Otherwise, you have to put it as this one as abstract. If you do not implement, if you do not like to implement the area method, then put it as abstract. Then doesn't matter. Then what is the problem? Now the constructor problem. Because inside the constructor, you can't call the default constructor. It is another one. So you have to call the, that means triangle. Inside the triangle, you have to inside the triangle, you have to call the superclass constructor. Here superclass, this is 7 and 9, sorry, 6.7 and 9.8. Likewise, you have to call the superclass. That is why it gives you an error. I think you may understand those parts. Therefore, I remove these abstract parts also. Abstract class triangle. What you have to do is now you have to implement this one. So you can easily implement abstract method. That means actually you do not need to write this part again. So Java IDE support to implement this get area method. How to implement? You may click this bulb icon. You may click this bulb icon. It say implement all abstract method. Implement all abstract method. When you click this one, it implement all abstract method. So it will give you double area and put some value. This is not the way I want to implement. Therefore, I remove the body part here. I remove this body part and I will put whatever the code I need. Whatever the code I need. Area of triangle. Triangle can be, that means half into base into height. Triangle, how to calculate the area? Half into base into height. So you may use return half into base into height. Base into height. Base means, let's say, dim1 super dot dim1 into super dot dim2 base into height and divide by 2. Divide by 2 mean here. And you override this one. Here you overwritten. And write the construct also. Triangle double A double B. So I will put the constructor after the method. You may put after the method or before the method. It doesn't matter. Here I put the constructor after the method. After the overridden method. Triangle double A double B. Here super, I told you have to call super class, otherwise you try to call the default constructor. However, there is no default constructor available. There is no default constructor available in the figure because you written your manual constructor. That means your parameterized constructor. Therefore, you have to manually call it here also. Super A and B. Anyone has problem? Okay, now you implement this part also. Okay, now go to the main class and create object and try to call method. And go to the main class. Here, call figure F. Figure F, that is the object name. After that, rectangle R is equal new rectangle. So here only the object reference is available, but object reference is currently null. Currently null mean currently object reference is not set to an instance of object. Currently this object reference is not set to an instance of object because new part is not there. Whatever the object, only the null way, that means object reference is currently null. After that, rectangle type, rectangle R. New rectangle, and you have to pass size 20 and 51. And triangle T, new triangle. Triangle also 14580. After that, figure F, that means this null reference equal to the R. This null reference figure F equal R. That means figure F, figure mean parent type, figure mean parent type, rectangle and the triangle are child type. So figure F is a parent type object reference. R is a child type object reference, child type object. So you can put the child type value to here. Parent type object reference can hold any child value. So that is possible. And after that, system.out.println area is figure F area. Figure F and call the area. After that, figure F equal T. After calling this figure F object reference, currently it is held in a rectangle type. Now it hold in a triangle type. After that, again call that method. Again call this method. Okay, now try to execute this one. So I forget to put inside the area of the triangle. No? Likewise, inside the area of the rectangle, here also before printing, you have to put inside the area of triangle. Just print that it is inside the triangle. Okay, now try to execute this part. Then what happened? Figure F. So object reference of parent type class. After that, rectangle R is equal new rectangle. Now you created the rectangle with dimension 1 is 20 and dimension 2 is dim2 is 51. And the triangle T created with dim1 is 145, dim2 is 80. And the figure F is R. That means parent is held in a child type. That means rectangle type object. System.out.println area is figure F dot area. Now it's trying to call figure F dot area. It's trying to call this area method. However, this area method is not possible calling because inside the figure F it has the rectangular type. So if it is rectangular type, it automatically call the overwritten method. So actually this is overwritten. So you have to put that override. So here there is a bulb icon available. Put at override. It's better to put at override. So here it is called the overwritten method. And after that, you put to the figure f is equal, now figure f is held in a triangle type object. Now when you are calling the area, it called the triangle. It called this one. So inside the triangle. Previously inside the rectangle and give you the answer. After that inside the triangle and give you the answer. Anyone has problem? It automatically identify the overridden method. This one we called as dynamic polymorphism. According to the object, it identifies the which method to be called. According to the object, which method to be called, it is dynamic polymorphism. And after that, explain the intended result in the following scenario. Insert statement as figure F equal new figure 410 inside the main method in the abstract areas class before the rectangle R new rectangle 50. That means before this line. Before this line, you have to put a line. Figure F is equal new figure. Figure F is equal new figure. And pass the 4 and 10. 4 and 10. The figure F statement does not provide any compilation error, even the figure is an abstract class. So why is that? So here this will give you an error. Figure is an abstract class, but this statement doesn't give you an error. The reason is you can create object reference of abstract classes. You may create object reference of abstract classes. Why? Because actually you can't hold in on object. It is because it is abstract class, it cannot hold its own object, but it can hold any child object. That is why it allowed to create object references. Although object reference cannot hold itself object. දැන් මේ figure f එකට කවදාවත් එයාගේ object එක මේකට දාගන්න බෑ. මොකද එයාගේ object එකේ මෙතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා මේ area එක implement කරලා නැහැ. එයාගේ object එක එයාගේ class එක issue එකක් තියෙනවා මේක implement කරලා නැහැ. ඉතින් කවදාවත් එයාට එයාගේම object එක මේක hold කරගන්න බෑ. එයාගේම object hold කරගන්න බැරි වුණාට දරුවෝ එයාගේ ළමයිගේ object එයාට තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. So although it cannot hold itself object, it can hold any child class object. That is why you can create object references. You are allowed to create object references. That is why there is no error. Does not provide any produce any compile error, because you are allowed to create object reference, but you can't hold self object. That is why this line give you an error. Again, you create object reference, a different one, F, figure F, that is possible, it doesn't matter, but you try to create it on object from the figure. Figure mean construct of the figure class. You try to create on object. That is not possible. If you create is on object, how this area should be behaved, then there is an ambiguity. There is a problem. How this area should be behaved. Therefore, it cannot hold it on object. Do you understand that part? So I think it's better I explain that one in the board. So tell me whether you can see my whiteboard or not. Do you see my whiteboard? Do you see my whiteboard? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Now what to do is next, you are trying to call figure. You are trying to call figure and if figure f is equal new figure and pass what are the values pass 4 and 10. So what happen if you create this one? Actually, figure class has a method called area. So if anyone tried, if you try to call area, if you try to call area, that means abstract method area. How to execute this one? Now there is a problem. That is the reason. The reason is this has not been implemented. This one has not been implemented. Therefore, this part gives you an error. You cannot call it self-construct. Do you understand that part? Yes or no? Do you understand that part? Do you understand that why we can't create an object from the abstract class? Because it may have abstract method. That is the problem. Okay, but there is a way to create. There is a way to create an object from the construct of this one. The problem is area. Problem is area. The problem is area. How to calculate the area? Problem is how to calculate the area. This is not implemented. Okay, you can implement that one. So if you can implement this one, then you can create the object from here. So if there's a way to implement. So when you are creating, if you can implement how to do that one, implement this one inside here. Implement it inside here. Now you may understand that how to implement in that small area. So it doesn't matter. So how to implement this one is, so this is a semicolon. In this area you have to implement. So when you are implementing, you have to open the bracket and close the bracket. Inside here you have to implement how the get area should work. Inside here you have to implement how that get area should work. Okay, now I will tell you how to implement. So here actually there is not enough space to implement. Therefore what I do is I take this part to here. I take this part to here. That means I take that part to here. Because there is not enough space to implement. Yeah, and then remove. Now I put it, now I have the big area to implement. Now you may implement whatever the way you like. So what is the method? Area. Return type is double. Double area. Is there any input data type? I can't remember. no any input data types available. Therefore, you may directly use this one. Here you may implement whatever the open and close the curly brace. Here you may implement how the area should work. Okay, assume that you don't know how to do that one, then you may return 0.0 or whatever the value you like, 7.0, whatever the value. However, whatever the way if you can implement, then doesn't matter. Now you are allowed to create the object. Now f object are allowed to create because f object has, now if someone try to call f dot area, then what happened? Now it will return 0.0. Now there is a way to implement. Now how it should behave is available. How it should behave is available. So we call this one as a special name. Anyone know this special name? This kind of implementation? So actually what happened is here, if you need to implement this one, actually what you have to do is you have to create a subclass and implement this one. You have to create a subclass and implement this one. This is the usual way of implementation. That means you created the rectangle and triangle, you create a subclass. You create rectangle and implement how to implement that one. Return this one and this one. Return dim1 into dim2. And the triangle return dim1 into dim1 into dim2 divided by 2. Those are implemented. Here also now another implementation. What is the class? What is the class? What is the class name? Previous you created two class. Rectangle and triangle. You created rectangle and triangle and try to implement. You implement in this way. Now here you created, we call this one as anonymous class. Now you implemented this one. Now you implemented this one without the class name. Do you put any class name? Just open and close the curly brace. So how you previously use that one? How previously you use class rectangle extends figure, and after that open and close. Now only open and close is available. No class name is there. Previous rectangle available, extend figure is available, rectangle extend from figure, and open and close in curly brace. Here now open and close in curly braces are available, but no class name available. Without class name, you implemented this one without class name. This one we called as anonymous implementation. Anonymous class implementation. You implemented this one using an anonymous class. That means you want to get whatever the value of double variable. Therefore, you when you are declaring this one, you created using the figure constructor, parent constructor, created an anonymous class. Anyone has problem? Okay, try out this one. Okay, do you see my window again? No, not the window, NetBeans IDE. Okay, now what you have to do is, now you created this kind of one. Here you try to implement. How to implement? Now without class name. you have to open the curly brace and close the curly brace. Open the curly brace and close the curly brace. Inside the open and closing the curly brace, you have to implement. So here there is not enough space, therefore I put it to the here. And here now I am going to implement. Okay, how to implement? Now you are going to implement this double area method. So I copy and paste it here. Implement double area and let's say return say 0.0, whatever the one. Okay, now there is no error. Figure f is equal new figure. Using anonymous class, you create an object. Remember that this is not the self object. Now that f is not holding the figure type 1. දැන් වැරදිලවත් හිතන්න එපා මේ f එක හෝල්ඩ් කරන් ඉන්නේ එයාගේම ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් කියලා. එයාගේම ඔබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ. මේ rectangular triangle වගේම sub class එකක් තමයි හෝල්ඩ් කරන් ඉන්නේ. Here it is holding a subclass. However, class name is anonymous. F is holding again a subclass. Only different is class name is anonymous. There is no class name. Okay. Let's say here put some S out inside anonymous class. Inside anonymous class. Okay. After that, try to call this one. That means name is f dot area. So put the s out. You call f dot area. So whatever the return value 0.0 will be printed. So when you run this one, so first of all it print inside the anonymous class. Inside the anonymous class, after that return value. Print the return value. What is the return value? Return value is 0.0. That value will be printed. This part we called as anonymous class implementation. Okay, and there is another one I will told you. So assume that now you need to create a rectangle. Let's say rectangle type object. Rectangle, let's say R2 is equal new rectangle and plus 4 and 8. You pass the 4 and 8. After that, R2 dot, you are calling the area. Let's say S out, you are calling the R2 dot area. Okay, now when you are running inside the rectangle, print this one. Inside the rectangle, print this one. So actually what you can do is, if you want to call this one, how do you call this one? Actually you call R2 dot area. This is how you call R2 dot area. You call the R2 dot area, then it will print this value. So what is this R2? R2 is, this is how you create the object. New rectangle. When you put the new rectangle and new object reference, new object will be created. That object reference will put to the R2. After that, R2 dot area you call. Actually, you do not need to call this one, put the object reference and put to the R2 and get this one. You may directly call get area of this object reference. That means without putting this one to the R2, what you can do is you can get this one. You can get this one. So that which means this one will give you object reference. So copy and paste. I copy and paste it here. New rectangle. New rectangle, what happened? This will create an object reference. Okay. You do not need to put it to the R2 and call area. You can directly call dot area. You may directly call dot area. ඕන්නම් ඉතින් මෙහෙම හදලා රිෆරන්ස් එක මේකට දාලා පස්සේ මේකේ මේක කෝල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම කෝල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම තැන් තැන් වල දාන්න ඕනේ. directly call. You may directly call this one. How directly call? You may put this one, cut this one and put it here. System.out.println this one. Then you do not need to create an object. So that means you do not need this line. You may directly put new rectangle. Then this will create an object. That object dot area. You call the area. So when you are calling this one, inside the area of the rectangle, value is 32. Do you understand that one? So likewise, now what in the anonymous class also you can do that one. Inside the anonymous class, this is the anonymous class. You put that anonymous class object reference. This is the anonymous class implementation. You put it to the F object reference. After that, F dot area. You call the F dot area. Actually, you do not need to call this one. So I comment this line. What you can do is you can directly copy this one. So when you copy this one, this will give you an object. So I copy and paste it here. This part will give you an object. This will give you the anonymous object and anonymous class object. Here you may use dot area. Here you may call dot area. Then what happens? Then it will call inside anonymous class. However, that area will be returned. You have to capture that one. I see that now. So 1.0 will be returned. If you need to get this one, you have to capture this one. You may use double k is equal this one. Double k is equal calling this one. After that, s out k. K is 0.0. So those are a little bit advanced things. So explaining that coding part. So if you don't understand, so you may ignore that part. It doesn't matter. So however, so I told you, you do not need to always put it to the variable and call. You may directly call that one. So now this is the anonymous class creation. If you want to implement your own method, now this is an anonymous class. No, assume that in the rectangle class, assume that you need to your own method m1. Likewise, if you need, you may call that, you may implement that method. Now this is implementation of area method. Likewise, if you need to implement another method after the area method, let's say void m1. Void m1. Assume that now m1 will return hello world. Sorry, m1 will print hello world. S out hello world. Hello world. Then instead of area, you may call m1. So when you're creating m1, it does not return anything because void. Therefore, you do not need to put it to the double variable because it doesn't return anything. Then there is no k variable available. So I comment this line. You created your own method at this time and you call that one. So M1 hello world. So those are little some advanced things that mean the object oriented part. So try to understand that part. If you can understand this one, so actually you can get the A plus for the object orientation, this subject. So what, so don't think that, so now what you do is that mean from the abstract classes, assume that abstract classes, actually you can't create the object. But what do you try to remember is you try to remember that abstract classes are not allowed to create object, but you don't know why. It is the reason. Therefore, remember that. Do not remember that abstract classes cannot create object. Remember that why abstract classes can't create object. Abstract classes වලට object හදන්න බෑ කියලා ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න එපා. ඇයි හදන්න බැරි කියලා ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. එතකොට මතක හිටින්න ඔක්කොම ටික. So don't remember that abstract classes can't create object. So it is correct, abstract classes cannot create object. Remember what is the reason. So if you know the reason, then you may understand the other parts also. Okay, this is the end of the lab session. Do you have any problem up to here? No problem. Tell me at least whether you can hear me or not. Okay, can hear. Okay, now try to do this mid-semester examination. So I think I have not teach you this part, logical operator and the short circuit operator. So if you know, you may answer that one. So I will give you the answer separately. What does it mean by short circuit and AND? So try to answer the other part, especially part B, section B. So all the detailed guidelines are there. So what you do is, so when you are looking at this kind of part, you may get afraid. So there is actually nothing there. So it is given how to implement, give you the detailed guideline one by one. First one is create a class called dress. Can't you create a class called dress with the attribute called price? Is it impossible? So if you create, you will get 3 marks. After that, create a method called show detail. We display the price of the dress. So you have to, inside the show detail, you have to put the system.out.println and print this line with the concatenation of the price. So you will get 4 marks. So one by, after that, modify the dress class, add mutator method and accessor. What does it mean by mutator and accessor? That means getter and setter. Getters and setters. A different mean mutator and accessor. For the data hiding part, that means encapsulation. So if you wrote this part and you have to use the proper access modifier means you have to put the price as private, then you will get 8 marks. So those are very simple things. One by one detailed guidelines are there. How to do that one. So only problem is time limit. Sometimes time may mean 1.5 hours are not enough. Therefore, I will increase the time. It doesn't matter for this kind of one. I will give you a 2 hours. Therefore, try to get the idea one by one. When you are implementing, try to get the idea. What is the actual logic you are creating when you are implementing the program in object orientation. Okay. And today's lab session you have to upload to the Moodle. That means answers of all the exercise 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 exercises available. You have to put it to a one zip file and upload to the Moodle. So I will put a link. So link will be expire at today at 11:59 p.m. So before the today 11:59, upload your answers to the Moodle. Okay. So I think you may not have any questions up to now. So then I will conclude the lab session and thank you for the participation.